Welcome and welcome back, and hello to anyone who's new. In this episode of Project Wobble, we're going to be exploring Canary Wharf and the surrounding areas. We've actually got 3 stations to explore, so buckle up because we've got the Jubilee part, which is this part, the DLR part, which we'll see in the middle, and we've got the Elizabeth line part, which we'll see at the end. Right now we're in the main section of the Jubilee Underground station, which opened in 1999, and it was designed by Norman Foster, and I personally think it's a very photogenic station. I think it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing stations on the network, actually. It was used as a filming location for Star Wars. This was the Imperial base in Rogue One. So screen points straight out the gate. Usually on Project Womble, I explore the local area and I'm quite into blue plaques and history and sort of quirky facts and things, but there's a distinct lack of blue plaques in this area. So we're going to do something different. We're going to go on a bit of an art trail because I like my art as well, and what Canary Wharf isn't lacking is public art. There's loads of it. There's over 100 pieces of public art dotted around. So we're going to go on a little art trail today and see what we can find, explore the area. I'm going to chat a little bit about Canary Wharf and the history and so on, and we'll just loop the loop and see what we can find. As is customary on Project Womble, we'll start with our station summary. So it's a Zone 2 station. It's actually the busiest Zone 2 station on the network, and in the list of the top 10 busiest stations, this is the only Zone 2 station that's on that list. It's got 2 platforms on the Jubilee section, that is. It opened in 1999. It comes under the area of Tower Hamlets. It serves the area of the Isle of Dogs, and it was designed by architect Norman Foster. Norman Foster's done a few stations on the Underground now. I think he did Westminster, which is iconic, and we're going to be doing Westminster in a few episodes' time, so stay tuned for that. I do like this station. I love how futuristic it looks. I mean, you know me, I love the old, I love the new, I love it all. If it's well designed, I love it. Talking of well designed, we are now going to go on a little art trail. Here's our first piece. This is Hare by British sculptor Richard Hudson's photo of him there. It's popular, it's a popular one. People love to take a selfie in it. It's right outside the station in front of Jubilee Park, which we're just heading into now. So this park is actually built on top of Station Concourse. Similar, I guess, to Temple that we saw in our last episode, but this is definitely a lot greener. It's designed by Norman Foster. It's very well laid out. Here's our next piece of art. Nice bronze sculpture by Helaine Blumenfeld, OBE. Nice picture of her there. We're just cutting through the park on our way to Montgomery Square. So Montgomery Square is named after Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery. What a name. He's striking quite the catalogue pose there, right? I love the name Bernard. Do you know my favourite book growing up was Not Now Bernard? I love that book. It's quite a macabre book, really, but that was what I always used to ask my mum to read me as a bedtime story, so don't know what that says about me. Anyway, the piece of art that we're walking towards now is Scribble Form by Julian Wilde. This is a 2020 piece. Did I mention earlier about the name of Canary Wharf? I don't think I did. So Canary Wharf is named after a warehouse where they used to house the goods from the Canary Islands. Right, we're walking towards Wood Wharf now, which is this new bit, which is like full of like swanky, very expensive houses. We're just going over this little bridge. Sometimes when you walk over here, you can see little boats down there, hot tub boats and things that you can rent out. Looks like fun. It does look like fun, actually. Okay, we're just walking past Amazon Fresh towards our next piece of public art, which is this piece, which is called Perpetual Red by Merete. Rasmussen. I like these modern pieces. People can get a bit funny about modern art, can't they? Like, my 5-year-old could have made that. It looks like a kid's toy, all that. But it's art. It's a way of someone expressing themselves. And as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty to look at. I like bright colours. I like wiggly lines and cool shapes. I mean, you've seen my Instagram channel. You know, I'm here for the bright colours and the wiggly lines. And it's my jam. So I quite like modern art. Do I understand it? Probably not. Do I appreciate it? Absolutely. This little boardwalk we're walking along now is so lush. This part of Canary Wharf is called Harbour Quay Gardens. We're just going to take a little detour up into the actual gardens because there's some public art in there. This one, Minotaur and Hare on a Bench by Sophie Ryder. This is a 1995 piece. Talking of 1995, I find it really weird like walking around Canary Wharf because I used to spend a lot of time down here in the late 90s because I had a boyfriend at the time who lived just off West Ferry Road, and it's changed so much. I mean, none of this was here back then. Canary Wharf, like the actual tower, 1 Canada Square, that was there, but none of this was here. I mean, this is absolutely lush. Look at this gorgeous little boardwalk. This reminds me so much of Pier 52 in New York. It's got that vibe with the wooden decking against the water and the skyscrapers. I mean, what a lovely place just to chill out. I mean, the title of this video is Canary Wharf, you know, a soulless place that's trying too hard to be a mini Manhattan. And I suppose there is a good argument to say, yeah, it is. But I wouldn't say it's soulless. It definitely looks like a mini Manhattan in places, and I'm not mad at it. I mean, I'm quite a fan of New York. It's like a cleaner version of Dumbo in places. You know, it's got that vibe, hasn't it? Although Dumbo's not that grubby, but it is in places. And this is just immaculate. I mean, it's very clean. For London, it's extremely clean. But that's because it's like privately owned land and there's people going around cleaning it all the time. And, you know, that's a whole other conversation. You know, should these big areas of London, these big public spaces actually be privately owned? I would say possibly not. It's definitely a very weird setup. I mean, the whole area comes under the Tower Hamlets local authority, but then the whole area is owned by the Canary Wharf group and they manage it, and they're the management company and they keep it clean, and the security guards everywhere. Filming was a bit weird. There was a lot of security guards. No one sort of came up to me, and I think I'd come across as quite friendly. I just looked like some random girl walking around filming, but I did have a gimbal, and I've heard that, you know, sometimes they can be quite confrontational and ask you why you're filming and so on. So I don't know, they didn't stop me, but I'm just a girl on her own wandering around London, so I suppose I don't look too threatening, maybe, who knows. Anyway, I'm rambling. We are walking up towards Trafalgar Way, which in a second, if you look to the right, you'll see the Millennium Dome. See it? Show my age there. The O2. You'll see the O2. You get a nice little view of it. And from up here, we've also got a view of Billingsgate Market, which is quite a famous London market. But it goes way back to like the 16th century, although it wasn't actually on this site back in the day. It moved over to here in 1982, so this is only goes back to the 80s. It's not the grade 2 listed building that it was when it was on its original site, but it's still a famous London landmark, so I'm pointing it out. If you've heard of it and you've often wondered where it is, because sometimes we wonder these things, here it is. It's right at the back of the new Lizzie line Canary Wharf station, which is that building right there that's floating on the water. I'll talk to you about that building a bit later on, but yeah, it's quite interesting. That's Crossrail Place, and there's a roof garden at the top there, which again I'll show you a bit later. So we're just gonna walk along here, and then we're going to go into the shopping centre, which is like a labyrinth of tunnels. And if you're going to do this walk yourself, brace yourself for getting very lost, because I like to think that I've got a good sense of direction, but I got extremely lost in this shopping centre because there's 4 shopping centres that all merge into one. They've all got similar like branding, and they all run underneath these giant buildings, and it's just a maze, and you're going to get lost. Don't say I didn't warn you. Okay, we've managed to find our way out of the maze that is the Canada Place shopping centre, and we have now popped out right underneath 1 Canada Square, which is like the Canary Wharf Tower. the iconic Canary Wharf Tower, designed by Argentine-American architect Cesar Peli. This guy, I remember going here in 1991 when it opened on a school trip. It is iconic. Across the road from one of the entrances, we've got our next piece of public art, which is this one by Julian Mark, which is called Tandem Lovers. We've seen Julian Mark before on various walks that we've done. We saw them in Paddington. Do you remember the paparazzi dogs that we saw in Paddington? And we saw that big exhibit in St Paul's over the summer as well. So they've got lots of pieces dotted around London. Then just over the wall, we've got another piece called 6 Public Clocks by Konstantin Grikic. Grikic? I think that's how you say it. I did check with Google, but I'm not sure how accurate the Google pronunciation is. But anyway, this is it. 6 public clocks in this area, which is called Router's Place. And we're just going to go across Router's Place now, and then we're going to turn right and head towards the DLR Canary Wharf station. We're at the midpoint of our journey now. In fact, probably a little bit further along than the midpoint. This is going to be a quicker tour than normal, I think. Right, just above my head there, you can see the lines of the DLR, the Docklands Light Railway, and that's the station up ahead. Geeky fact, Canary Wharf DLR station is not actually the closest station to the Canary Wharf Jubilee line station. Hare and Quays is closer. Right, we're not going to go into the station. We are going to just head left and go towards Cabot Place, which Cabot Place is like a shopping centre. We're not going to go in there. We've done enough of the shopping centres today. We've got lost. We've learnt our lessons. Instead, we're going round the outside like true trailer park girls. Okay, we've gone round the outside and now we are at Cabot Square. So I looked up Cabot Square to figure out, I like the names. I like the etymology. So John Cabot was an Italian explorer and navigator. And he's credited with discovering parts of North America. Right, so this guy, Cabot, set sail in 1497. Yes, 1497. And he landed on the coast of what is believed to have been Newfoundland, Canada. Interestingly, in Canary Wharf, there is a street called Newfoundland Street. And then obviously there's Canada Square as well. So, thought that was interesting. Back to our little art trail. So there's plenty of art dotted around the fountain. I particularly like this piece, which is 2 Men on a Bench by Giles Penny. Just across from Cabot Square, we've got Fisherman's Wharf, which we're heading towards now. That building right ahead of us is a Grade 1 listed warehouse that dates back to 1800. Now, I love my Grade 1 listed buildings. This is now a museum, but was once buildings of the West India Import Dock. It's a contentious building because of its dark history and its links with the transatlantic slave trade. In fact, there was a statue outside which has since been removed because it was a statue of someone who profited from the slave trade. However, the building is contentious in and of itself. Warehouses were built expressly to receive the products of slavery. So basically the only goods that were ever housed in here, received in here, were the products of slavery. In the number 1 warehouse at the end there is a Docklands Museum, permanent gallery there entitled Sugar and Slavery, which examines the history of transatlantic slave trade. So it's a free museum, free to go in, so maybe if you're in the area, maybe have a look, because I think it's important to have an understanding of London's darker history. This area now is all bougie eateries. Something slightly odd about that, I suppose, a little bit jarring, like to have that outside the front of the warehouses from the transatlantic slave trade. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. Okay, we're going to head back over the bridge now, make our way to Adams Plaza for some more public art. Not officially public art, but definitely artistic, is the giant plastic duck, which I love. I think it's super cute. So I thought I'd point it out because I like it. It's cheeky. Sticking with the theme of things I like, here we have Click Your Heels Together 3 times. So this is a piece by Adam Nathaniel Furman, who I highly recommend checking out on Instagram, because if you like bright colours, which if you're following me on Instagram you probably do like bright colours, this guy and his art are right up my street. He's got a few pieces dotted around London. There's a lovely piece in Paddington Central, which you can see in my Paddington video. But yeah, definitely look him up online. I just love the Austin Powers vibe. I think it's my favourite piece out of all the ones we've seen today. Right, we're heading up the steps. If we look up, we'll see that we're right at the base of One Canada Place, which I talked about earlier because we were on the other side of it earlier on when we looked at Tandem Lovers. Used to be the tallest building in London until it was overtaken by the Shard. Doesn't look that tall when you're underneath it, but it's massive. And then right across from that, we've got Adam's Plaza Bridge. Now I tried to look up to try and find out who Adam is. Who is Adam? Nobody knows. Google doesn't know. ChatGPT doesn't know. So if you know who Adam is and why Adam's Plaza is called Adam's Plaza, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know. On Adam's Plaza Bridge, we'll find our next art piece, which is this, Captivated by Colour by Camille Wellala. I love this piece. It's got like 80s vibes. And it reminds me of a sweater shop jumper I used to have in the 90s, that pattern. I love it. Sort of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meets Lego vibes. It's great. So this was created for the London Mural Festival in 2020, and here it is. But yeah, it's very Instagrammable tunnel. I'll tag the artist down below as well, because I would say it's definitely worth looking her up, because she's got some lovely pieces. And again, this sort of style of art is right up my street. This tunnel links across to the new Crossrail Place, which is a shopping centre, but it also houses the Elizabeth line. And we saw this place earlier. Do you remember I showed you the back of it, that floating building? Underneath is the entrance to the Elizabeth line, and on top is a rooftop garden, which we're going to head to now. But we'll just have a quick look at this last piece of public art called Electric Rainbow by Leather Gods, commissioned for Pride Month in 2022. Okay, so on the roof we've got Crossrail Roof Garden, which is a lovely public space. There's 300 metres with a variety of exotic plants. It's open to the public all year round, and you don't need to book or anything to go up there. There is a restaurant. I didn't venture and go in there. I just walked around the gardens. So it's designed to reflect the maritime history of the area, with plants from regions around the world which were historically connected to trade routes. It was designed by Foster and Partners, and it's housed under a large latticed timber roof. The roof itself was designed to resemble a ship's hull, which is a nice nod to Canary Wharf's history of trade and shipping. And then it's divided into zones, so it's got plants from the east and the west hemispheres. Again, you know, inspired by Canary Wharf's trading history. So it's got plants from the Americas and plants from Asia growing side by side. So it's got, you know, tropical plants, ferns, magnolias, bamboo. It's a very nice space. It's definitely a tranquil place, and I had the luxury of having it almost all to myself. I know it's not like that on weekdays. I filmed this on a Sunday. I often find Sundays a good time for filming, but especially in areas like this, like the financial district. I did my St Paul's video on a Sunday because it's just a lot quieter. Like weekdays are a nightmare. Prefer London on a Sunday. I like the vibe. It's more chilled out. I find Sundays lend themselves well to a stroll. I mean, I'm a fast walker. I'm a London walker. I walk at a very fast pace, but I do prefer to walk around when, you know, it's easy to walk around when there's not hundreds of people everywhere. Okay, we're now magically in the Lizzie line part of Canary Wharf, designed by Foster and Partners. It's actually located beneath the water of the North Dock, because we saw it from the outside, didn't we? We built 18 metres below the water level, making it one of the deepest stations on the Lizzie line. It's very spacious down there. It's definitely got imperial base vibes, like a lot of the Lizzie line. I always feel like I'm walking around in a spaceship, and I'm into it. I like the Elizabeth line. Look at these gorgeous canary yellow escalators. I'm here for it. I love these little touches. Do you know what I mean? I see you, canary yellow escalators. I see what you did there. It's not lost on me. Like, there's a lot of thought that goes into these things, and it's probably some people just walk past, I'm guessing, but not me. I notice. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our little stroll around Canary Wharf. Definitely a shorter one and a slightly different one. We're back in central London next. We're off to Soho again, actually. Woo! We're going to have a little look around Tottenham Court Road. So we'll be back on the Lizzie line, because Tottenham Court Road is now on the Lizzie line. So yeah, I'll see you for the next episode. Thanks for watching.